Welcome back, 6th grade. Today we're talking about unit multipliers. Now I know that a lot of you are confused by this concept of unit multipliers, so I want you to remember that unit multipliers are just another way to multiply by 1. So look at this example they have in the book. If we were to take 5 times 1 equals 5, or 5 times 1 times 1 equals 5, or even 5 times 1 times 1 times 1 equals 5, right? All we're doing here is multiplying by 1. It's the same idea with unit multipliers. Remember, if I was to take 1/2 and multiply that by 2 over 2, I get 2 over 4. Remember, 2 over 4 over here equals 1/2. All I've done is multiply by 1. That is the same idea as our unit multiplier today. So let's talk a little bit more about our unit multiplier and what that means. Okay, so here is example 1. They want us to use 2 unit multipliers to convert 5 hours to seconds. Well, we know that we can't go straight from hours to seconds. That's why they want us to use 2 unit multipliers to do this. So let's think about what these unit multipliers are going to be. Well, what is in between hours and seconds? Minutes, right? So we're going to have to go from hours to minutes, and then from minutes to seconds. So let's first think about what our unit multiplier would be for hours to minutes. Well, how many minutes are in 1 hour? Well, we know that there are 60 minutes equals 1 hour. How many minutes are in a second? We're going from minutes to seconds. Well, again, we know that how many seconds are in 1 minute? We know that there are 60 seconds in 1 minute. Now remember, all we've done here is we're finding what equals 1, right? These are equal to each other. So we have found what our unit multiplier is going to look like. So now let's set up our problem. We want to have 5 hours. We're going to multiply it by 1 unit multiplier, a second unit multiplier, and our outcome has to be in seconds. Okay, so our first unit multiplier, we want to be able to cross-cancel hours, which means hours is going to have to be on the bottom. We come back and we look over here, and that means our 1 hour and our 60 minutes. 60 minutes is going to have to be on top. Let's look at our second unit multiplier. This time, we're going to cross-cancel minutes. We want to cross-cancel these minutes, which means minutes is going to be on the bottom. So we come back, we look at now this unit multiplier, and we have 1 minute down here with 60 seconds on top. Now we can do the math. 5 hours times 60 minutes. 5 hours times 60 minutes over 1 hour. We can cross-cancel out the hours. 5 times 60, 5 times 6 is 30. So now we have 300 minutes times 60 seconds over 1 minute. Now we can cross out these minutes. 30 minutes times 60 seconds over 1 minute. Let's cross that out. 300 times 60. Well, 3 times 6 is 18, and we have 1, 2, 3 zeros. So our final answer is 18,000 seconds. Okay, this is where you pause. Go do practice A and B in the Google form. You will submit just A, B. You will see your correct answer or incorrect answer, get feedback, and come back. Okay, welcome back. Hopefully practice A and B went well for you. Now we're going to do example 2. Diego wants to carpet a 16-foot by 9-foot room that has an area of 144 feet squared. Carpet is sold by the square yard. How many square yards of carpet does Diego need? So here we need to convert our feet to yards. So we're going to have to use 2 multipliers. Now you might be thinking, but here I just have my area. Why do I need to take my area and use 2 square multipliers? Well, let's look at that. If he has 144 feet squared, then we're really taking it 144 feet times feet. And when we are multiplying this out, we're going to have to cross out both of those. Times a unit multiplier times a unit multiplier to get our yards. Okay, so what is our unit multiplier that we're going to use? What do we know is going to get us from feet to yards? And if you're thinking, I know that 3 feet equals 1 yard, then you are on the right track. So I have to put my 3 feet down here because I want to be able to cross out my feet because I want to get rid of these feet. I want only yards left. So I put my 1 yard up here. So if you're thinking about, oh yeah, she said I had to cross out these feet, now you're seeing why I had to do 2. I had 2 feet, so I have to cross them out twice. Okay, so let's work on it. So I have 144 feet times feet multiplied by 1 yard over 3 feet. Okay, so let's cross out this foot with this foot. 144 times 1 is 1, but I have 144 divided by 3, which is 48. So now I have 48 feet times yard. Okay, and now I still have my unit multiplier of 1 yard over 3 feet, right? Okay, now I'm going to cross out again. I have 48 feet times yard, so now I'm going to cross out this foot, and 48 divided by 3 gives me 16. And now I have 16 yards times yards. So I have 16 yards squared. Okay, go do practice C and come back. All right, 6th grade, we are back. Hopefully you did well on that last practice set. You knew that it was area, and so hopefully you're realizing that with area, we have to use 2 unit multipliers. So hopefully you can see what's happening on this next example. Let's read it. A masonry contractor needs to pour a concrete foundation for a block wall. The foundation is 1 foot deep, 1 foot wide, and 100 feet long. Let's pause there for a minute. If we have 3 units, we know that this must be a volume, that this must be a prism of some sort. A cement truck will deliver the concrete. How many cubic, there we go, that has confirmed it, yards of concrete should the contractor order? Okay, so let's think about this. If we know that it's 1 foot deep, 1 foot wide, and 100 feet long, then the volume of our cube is 1 foot times 1 foot times 100 feet, which equals 100 feet cubed. And we want to convert that to cubic yards. So we need to think about a unit multiplier that will convert feet to yards. And if you're thinking, wait a minute, our last example in the practice, we used 3 feet to 1 yard. You are exactly right. We're going to use that 3 feet equals 1 yard unit multiplier again. So the difference is going to be, though, we're going to have to use 3 unit multipliers this time. So I have to set up my problem. I'm going to have 100 feet times feet times feet, and that's going to be multiplied by 1 unit multiplier, a second unit multiplier, and a 3rd unit multiplier to give me my yards. Okay, so let's bring in our unit multipliers. I want to cross cancel my feet. So there's 3 feet and 1 yard. Let's make that a little bit prettier. Three feet and 1 yard. 3 feet, 1 yard. 3 feet, 1 yard. And that way I can cancel out all of these feet. Okay, so instead of doing what I did last time, let's just cancel them out all together. Feet, feet, feet. And so I'm left with 100 yard times yards over 3 times 3 times 3. Did you see what I did there? 100, all those feet are crossed out, but I still have my yard on top, my yard on top, my yard on top, and then on bottom, all that's left is my 3 times 3 times 3. So now I have to look and see that I have 100 yards cubed over 27. And when I divide that out, I see that my final answer could be 3.7 yards cubed. Okay, pause and go do practice D and then come back. Welcome back, 6th grade. Let's look at example 4. This is a new type of problem. As Tina approached the traffic light, she slowed to 36 kilometers per hour. Convert 36 kilometers per hour to meters per minute. This is the type of problem that a lot of you guys see and you go, oh, too hard, gonna skip it. Okay, it looks scary, but it's really not. You just have to think through it. Okay, So let's first think about what we're trying to do here. Okay, we've got kilometers per hour to meters per minute. Kilometers per hour to meters per minute. Okay, so first we're trying to take our kilometers. Oh, let's change that over to the other color. Kilometers. And we want to change that to meters. And then we want to have our hour, and we want to change those to minutes. Well, how many meters are in a kilometer? 1,000 meters in a kilometer. How many minutes are in an hour? 60 minutes in our hour. So now we can set up our problem. She was driving 36 kilometers per 1 hour. And then we want to find our meters per 1 minute. I always like to have my beginning and my end, so I know where I'm starting and where I'm finishing, so that my unit multipliers that I'm going to put in the middle here make sense. So I know what I need to do. So let's go ahead and put those in. I want to first cross out these kilometers. So I'm going to put 1 kilometer down here so that I'll be able to cross them out. So I'm going to come back up here and I'm going to look at this unit multiplier, this equal of 1, this equality of 1 that I've created, and look and see, okay, for 1 kilometer I have 1,000 meters. So I'll put 1,000 meters right there. So this becomes a multiplication. And I'll be able to cross those out. Now I'm going to look at my next unit multiplier. Well, now I'm going to want to be able to cross out my hours. So I'm going to get rid of my hours, right? Because I need to turn my hours into minutes. So my hour, I want to cross out hour and hour over here. So I'm going to put 1 hour up here, and then look back up and see that my 60 minutes will then go on the bottom. And I can even go back in over here and cross out those hours. Now, and then this will be where my equal sign comes in. Now I can go back and look at everything I haven't crossed out and start to do the math. 36 multiplied by 1,000 meters. Okay, 36,000 meters. 1 times 1 times 60. Oops. Just gives me 60 minutes. So now I have 36,000 meters over 60 minutes. But I don't want 60 minutes. I want 1 minute. So I can divide that 36,000 over 60 and get 600 meters for every 1 minute. And that's my final answer. 600 for every 1 minute. You know the drill. Pause, go do practice E, see how you did in the Google form, and come back. All right, sixth grade, hope you're getting this. Hope you're doing well on the practice set. We are now at the last example. Claude's car averages 12 kilometers per liter of fuel. Claude's car averages about how many miles per gallon? This is very similar to our last example where we're taking kilometers and we're going to transfer that over to miles. And we're taking liters and we're moving those into gallons. Okay? The difference between this one and our last one is that we have to use the book to know that our kilometers, that 1 kilometer is about 0.62 miles. Okay, this isn't something that we have memorized, that they are telling us this information. Okay, they're also telling us that 1 gallon is about 3.781 liter. Okay, so they're giving us these unit multipliers that are more in the about category for us to have an estimation of this information. So now we can set up our problem. If we know that his average is 12 kilometers per 1 liter, and we know that we want to find out how many miles per gallon, remember this is per 1 gallon, then we can begin to set up our problem. Remember that this means we want to put our kilometer on bottom here so that we can cross them out. So if we want 1 kilometer down here, we're going to put 0.62 miles up here. If we want to cross out our liters, we're going to put our liter up here. They've given us that 1 gallon is about 3.781 liters. So we're going to put 3.781 liter over 1 gallon. So now we have filled in everything we need to do for multiplication. This type of problem is perfectly acceptable to use a calculator for, okay? And in the practice that you're going to be doing, practice F, it actually says you may use a calculator, okay? So before we do that, let's cross out the things that we don't need. Okay, so now this kilometer and this kilometer crosses out. This liter, but only this liter right there crosses out. Okay, so now we're left with 12 times 0.62 miles times 3.781. And all of that is over 1 gallon. Pause and let's see what you get. Okay, so hopefully you paused it and you got something like this, which is 28.13. It goes on a little bit, but if you were then to round it, because it says about how many, you would then round it to 28 miles per gallon. All right, go do practice F. On the practice problems in the Google form, you can submit or edit your answers as many times as you would like, so you can get full points on that. And then written practice in the Google form, you only need to do the odd problems, okay? Only do the odd problems, that's 15 problems total. And then upload those in the Google form. All right, this is due Sunday. You have all week to do all the problems. to do all of the lessons. Right. See you later, guys. I miss you.